Hi, welcome to Arty Crafty Alchemy. Today I am working on a project for the Scrapbooking and Craft design team. I'm the Arty Crafty Alchemist. Let's get started. If you stay tuned, there is a discount code somewhere in this video for Melinda's shop. There will be more projects from the design team in the coming days. Keep your eyes out, and as they appear I will link them in the box below. For those of you who don't know, Melinda makes chipboard. Lots of different pieces of chipboard. She also makes stencils. Mine's a little dirty because I've been using it, and I will just give you a glimpse at some of the things I've been working on. I started with oxides, but I didn't like how that turned out. This is one panel that I made, but I did not like how that worked. I'm still going to try and use them though, so that's the plan for that one. I don't currently have a plan for that one. Then I tried the oxides in yellow and red, and I'm sure I will work out something to do with that. This card here that opens that way, and then I have this finished card here that opens this way. And I am going to show you how I made this, though I am going to do this one in yellow and red. So I have got squeezed lemonade and barn door. I have some blending brushes. These are ones I got off Amazon. I watched a few people's videos reviewing different ones, and these ones blend quite nicely, so I like them. I'm going to start with squeezed lemonade. I have cut this circle out of my scan and cut. My scan and cut is in centimetres, so it is 15 centimetres this circle. If you have a die big enough to cut this size circle, you could do that. I also have the negative, which as you can see I was using for these ones, but this time I am just going to leave it, and I'm going to add a small amount of tape to the back just so it doesn't shift around. And I'm going to start with the yellow. Unfortunately I have a little bit of cat fur stuck to my stencil. That's the nature of having cats, it seems. So now I have my yellow layer down. I'm going to remove the stencil, give it a little spritz just to wipe most of the yellow off. Try and make sure the other side is not wet as well, because otherwise it will react with the yellow. Okay, so this is the way I took it off. Then I'm going to give it a quarter turn. Now, if you were wanting to give it a different look again, you could actually clean your stencil off and flip it. I have some Helma repositionable spray on the back, which I don't actually like using for this. The very first time you use it, it leaves a lot of residue behind. So I am going to try a different spray when I get my hands on one. I'm just pressing that down firmly, and I'm going to go in with the barn door. As you can see, it's not as smooth a texture underneath. I think my barn door was actually a little wet. I am just going to wipe this up. I'm going to re-stick that down, and I'm actually going to stick this around it. And then I'm going to clean off my stencil, hoping it will be sticky enough. And then I'm going to line this back up again for a second. So that was the way it went that time. And this time I'm going to turn it around one more time and place it back down. Now I have some Bow Bunny glitter paste, and I'm going to place a good dollop of this down. We'll start with that and we'll see how we go. I'm going to grab a bigger tool and start spreading that out. What I forgot to mention and what I forgot to do was that you really need to dry this in between stages, and I have completely forgotten to do that, which is not good. This one I've chosen to go all the way to the edges. For the other one I tried to stay inside the circle. I have a container of soapy water, and I am going to gently peel this off. You need to do it as fast as possible because otherwise it will stick to your paper. Throwing that into the water to soak until I'm ready to clean it. That will help get all the sparkle off. I'm going to separate the pieces of paper so that they don't stick together. And then I'm going to allow that to dry. I'm actually going to sit this back in here for a minute and I'll be able to scrape it out without it mixing with anything else. I just don't want it to dry out. And I'm going to grab my piece of chipboard, my dragon, and I am going to paint it with some squeezed lemonade and Bundle. My paints haven't been used in a good long while, so they need a good shake. Just going to dab on the yellow paint, and then I'm going to add on the red paint. Going to need a couple of coats, so I'm just going to dry it in between. I'm going to start drying the glitter paste as well. It is quick drying, but I'll give it a helping hand. I was actually wishing I had some yellow of the glitter paste, but I don't have that. Don't have glitter paste in yellow. I now have my panel and it is dry enough to cut. I'm going to cut this in half. This is almost 6 inches. I am going to cut it on this line here. I think will be roughly half. And there I have my 2 pieces. One half is slightly bigger than the other, but that doesn't matter. And then I think I'll take the bigger half and I'm going to cut that in half again. This time I'm going to go just over the 2 3/4 mark. And I messed up. So I need to cut about 1/4 inch off that. I'm just going to wing it. And that way I will have 2 pieces for my card base. I have this half-tone dot stencil from My Favourite Things. I'm going to grab a couple of card bases. I am going to take some carved pumpkin and just lightly run it across the stamp. Make sure to get the edge ones. And I am going to try and line that up as best I can and push down. That bit doesn't matter, but I am going to grab a paintbrush and try and fill in some of these little dots. Next I am going to add some tape to the back of this panel. The discount code for Melinda's shop is tab15 and you will get 15% off your order. For some reason nothing wants to stick to the back of this. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and I'm going to try and center this. My Cuddlebutt A plate to hold that down. For the next card I'm going to do the corners. I might just use glue this time, seeing as the tape is proving hard to peel off this cardstock. If you can hear the rain, we are in the middle of mega flooding in New South Wales. Australia, mate. Where we go from one extreme to the other. Now you could quite happily leave that like that and just decorate the top, but I'm going to stick both pieces on and I'll weight that one down with the block for now. I am going to paint the hello and friend. I will do the hello in yellow, squeeze lemonade, and the friend in barn door. Next I'm going to grab my scungy old Versamark pad, press my words into it, and then I'm going to do the same for the dragon. And then I'm going to sprinkle some sparkle embossing powder over the top. And then I'm going to carefully pick them up, give them a bit of a tap off. Very carefully add it back. I'm going to melt the embossing powder, but first I'm going to heat my heat tool warm up a little bit. I'm going to do that 3 times. I'm just going to let them cool down a second before I press them into the Versamark again. I have my 2 backgrounds and I have Hello Friend. I think I'll do this one differently and put those down the bottom. Going to add some Helmar glue. Going to work on the hello next and weight that down. Next I'm going to work on a dragon. I really should stick this down first. And weight that down. I'm going to add my on top of that for a second. I have grabbed this Happy Birthday to You. It is a Spellbinders Glimmer Plate sentiment. I have a bunch already foiled. I need to actually do some more. And I'm going to add a little bit of foam for stabilization. And then I'm going to add glue across the middle of the sentiment. Recently got a T-square ruler, but let's see if we can get it to work with so much thickness. That still does not look straight. There we go. And I will just let that dry. There you have 2 cards made with one background. I have my leftover pieces that I will be able to make some cards with. I just hadn't grabbed the purple and blue stress paints yet. This is the Hello Friend, the dragon, and this is the one I'd already made. This was my tester. Thinking of You is the Shattered Circle stencil. This is the Shattered Square stencil. Melinda sells unicorns in chipboard. I have some of these leaves. This is the Hello Friend that I used here. This is the Thinking of You that I used here. I have a few more things that I can share. All we need is each other. Some pocket watches. I have bought 2 of these and just ended up sticking them in the same packet so they didn't take up as much space. Butterflies, some wood frames, another frame, another stencil. I have loads and loads of Melinda's chipboard. I have a whole box full. The dragon is from Melinda as well. Again, scrapbookingncraft.com.au. If you use the code TAB15, you will get a discount on your order. I hope you enjoyed my first video for Scrapbooking and Craft. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to see more content like this, and hit the bell notification to know when new videos come out. There will be some other lovely ladies with videos during this week, so keep your eyes out and I will link them below as they go live. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.